Wrong button. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to a little bit more of Ark News. They've updated a little bit of stuff with the latest community crunch, and honestly, I think it's for the better. We'll get into that a little bit later. This has to do with Ark Survival Ascended and Ark Survival Evolved, the sunsetting of Ark Survival Evolved, and then also Ark 2. A little bit of Ark 2, not too much. And yeah, we're actually going to be starting it off with Starship Troopers. Or, well, yeah, I mean, I love the movie. Might as well have it in Ark, you know? I think it's a great movie. So, you know, might as well have a whole bunch of them in there. All right, so it's the Rhino Natha. Okay, and, or maybe it's the Rhino Natha. Or something like that. I would imagine the G is probably silent. But yeah, Rhino Natha. And yeah, we got giant big bugs in Ark, and it looks like we will be able to ride them, or at least they're the size of them. They are pretty dang big. I hope they have some pretty cool special abilities. They do look pretty cool. I will admit they do look pretty cool. All right, so let's get down to the skinny. I would love to put a picture of a little cat up there, but yeah. All right, so welcome to another edition of Community Crunch. We appreciate your patience as we digested the feedback and consulted with our partners to revise our upcoming plans. And when they say consulting with their partners to revive their upcoming plans, they're probably talking about, you know, their whole team as well as Snail Games. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole Snail Games thing. There's a couple other guys that have done a bunch of stuff on that. I'm not going to touch it. Really, that's... yeah. All right. So, as always, we're very grateful to have such a passionate player base, and we hear and understand your concerns. We've decided to make some changes and provide additional information as to why we're taking this approach, so please bear with us as we address some points. Okay. So, yeah, price point and bundle. First things first, we're scrapping the Ark Respawn bundle. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I know a lot of people are probably going to be rather excited about it. That way they're just paying for one bundle instead of Ark 2 mixed into it. All right, now my bias, and I'm gonna say flat out, I do have a bias. I'm getting Ark 2 regardless. So, and that means that really, when it comes around to this is more just about, you know, the player and such like that. Because, I mean, me, honestly, and I'll be flat out honest with you, I'm a content creator. So I'm going to get these bundles regardless. Just so where I can play them and then I can, you know, put up videos and stuff like that. That is my bias. So for the most part, when it comes around to this, I'm just looking at the more easily digestible one that is, you know, it's better for, you know, for everybody. And honestly, I think this one is a little bit better, and we'll get into that. This is better than the last one. All right. Our intention behind this was to provide a package where you essentially got two products for the price of one. In hindsight, not the best move. Our bad. We recognize how combining... hold on, I gotta go. Our bad. Right, there we go. We recognize how combining Ark Survival Evolved with Ark 2 and requiring further DLC upgrades wasn't optimal, especially when you wouldn't be able to judge Ark 2 as no gameplay or content would be available. I agree with that. I mean, the fact that they had Ark 2 bundled in with the package, being... from my opinion, and I thought it was cool. But not most everybody isn't going to be feeling that way, because, I mean, if they're going to get all the expansions, Ark, and they're going to have to pay individual, and everybody has to pay individual prices for the different season passes, I can understand how that would rub a lot of people the wrong way. Better just get it all done in once, where you can just rebuy everything and have it all just released to you over the next year and a half, which I think is really, really cool. The bad part is they're not telling you how much Ark 2 is going to be anymore, so I would imagine Ark 2 will probably come out as a full price. If it doesn't come out in early access, and as of right now, we have no idea to know if it's going to be released in early access. Personally, I hope they do, but yeah, when Ark 2 comes out, it'll probably be a full-fledged $70 game now, which, that's fine. Honestly, that's fine with me. But I would like to know how much it is now, but now that they went with this bundle, I don't think they're going to tell us. So yeah. All right. Ark Survival Ascended will, well, then again, also, let me backtrack a little bit. It may not be a $70 game. It could actually be all the way down to like $30 or $40. It all just depends. And then, like I said, if they come out in early access with how Ark Survival Evolved did, it was much cheaper in early access, but as soon as they went to full release, that's when they bumped up the price. So, and which, in my opinion, that's kind of how they should be doing it. All right, Ark Survival Ascended will now be a standalone package released on every platform: PC, Windows, Steam, Xbox Series S, X, and PlayStation 5 at $59.99. The package will include the following pieces of content built in, not sold separately, with each remastered and altered for the next generation. The Island, released at launch. I like that. All right. Survival of the Fittest, the Island and Scorched Earth map variants, released at launch. And Scorched Earth, released at launch. That's kind of cool. So where, as soon as the game launches, then we not only are we going to have the Island map, which in my opinion is one of the best maps, also, we're going to have Scorched Earth along with it, and Scorched Earth is actually kind of a smaller map compared to the other expansions, which would make sense that they have enough time to actually get Scorched Earth into the mix, because Scorched Earth was just, I mean, when it comes, you compare Scorched Earth to Aberration and Extinction and Genesis's, then, or Genesisi, right? The plural, right? Somebody in the comments correct me. What is the plural of Genesis? Yeah. All right, but yeah, so the fact that we're going to have at least 2 maps on launch, that's pretty cool. I like that. And then released throughout the later this year and next year, the rest of the maps are going to be coming out. So Aberration in Q4, Extinction in Q1 2024, and then Genesis in Genesis in the same quarter as Extinction. That's kind of cool. All right, and then Genesis Part 2 in Q2. Did they up the release time? Okay, well, whichever. If they think they can make that, that's cool. I like that. All community-created maps are also to be released over time in 2024. Fjordur, Ragnarok the Center, Lost Island, Valguero, Crystal Isle. So those will have their own individual releases as well. That's cool. I love the fact that they are still incorporating those maps into it, and I love the fact that they're going to put them on, because Lost Island, out of all those maps, Lost Island and the Island are my favorite. So them and probably Aberration. But yeah. All right. So now no longer a backward compatible free upgrade. Now this one right here, the way they word this, it makes a lot of sense. Now I have already pre-read this like 5 times just so I could get it, my understanding of it exactly correct. I mean, I would like to actually read and get my initial reaction here in the video, but honestly, when it comes around to this, I'm glad I read this ahead of time. All right, so initially when we had considered doing an Unreal Engine 5 upgrade, we planned to just port Switch version of the game and undo the graphical limitations required for that hardware, which makes sense. Honestly, the Switch version of the game is the newest code that has been written for it, and it actually runs pretty dang smooth on the Switch. So I can understand why they would want to use that code, which is going to be much less buggy than say the original game of code that was written in early access, had very little development time before it went up to early access, and then or they just continue to build on it over the years, which is another reason why they could never fully optimize the game. So man, the Switch version doesn't have nearly as much of that. So we weren't going to maximize the potential of the new technology, we weren't going to introduce new gameplay changes, and we weren't going to make critical design changes that would have an impact on existing save data. That makes sense. All right, so this right here, they were basically just taking it and they were just porting it. Now it looks like they're actually going through, they're cleaning up the original code, they're rewriting a bunch of it, and they're putting it into the new engine as new, fresh code, which, in my opinion, is the better of the options, just because this way here they will have well, one, they're working with the technology as they're going forward, which gives them plenty of experience with that, and then also it allows them to go through and set themselves up so where instead of it just being a direct port, it's a fresh game, and they're able to just add a whole bunch of stuff on it, like when they're programming Arc 2 when they're making Arc 2, a lot of the new design choices, because this is Wildcard, and if anybody's been around here a lot with for Wildcard, they will know that when they're developing, say, like a fresh expansion, a lot of the stuff they develop for that fresh expansion makes it into the base game. They just don't tell you what they're doing. It's just all of a sudden, bam, hey, there's a new functionality on this dinosaur, and we're doing a TLC, and hey, look what this guy can do. We're not going to tell you that we developed that over inside this expansion, and this new expansion is going to have like 2 more dinos in it. I love the way they do that, and it makes sense that they would do it like that as well. All right. So, after carefully considering what would be the best outcome for those who enjoy Ark Survival Evolved and would want to continue to enjoy it in the years to come, we decided that our initial plan would not be sufficient. And that is the reason of the tweet from Jeremy Steiglitz, and this is the only time in this video I'm going to mention it. Yeah, that tweet caused a lot of anger with a lot of people, and rightly so. Especially after the news that came out. All right, moving on to a better and brighter subject. All right, we want to provide you with an evergreen classic Ark experience, one that can continue to grow over time on a cleaned up code base, exactly what I was saying, making use of the new technology advancements, not only in the industry, but also in what we're working on with Ark 2. There we go. All right. We weren't trying to mislead you with our earlier comments. Our plans and overall intentions changed. So you're probably asking, why don't we make these upgrades to the original Ark Survival Evolved ASE? Frankly, it would not be viable. Many of the changes we're making in Ark Survival Ascended will touch a lot of aspects of the game. It'll invalidate save data. Some mods may not be functional. Some things may not play to some way as they did before. And we didn't want to change that experience for those who prefer it to be, or are unable to upgrade. And unable to upgrade, I can fully understand that, because face it, when it comes around to a lot of Ark players, I have a lot of experience helping out a lot of people in Ark, and face it, there's a lot of people that they run Ark on really old hardware, and I can understand why. And basically making it so where everybody has to upgrade to that, it's a lot of people, they're struggling to run Ark in a lot of their upgrades. And I do have a section in my Discord where I've helped out quite a few people on older hardware be able to run Ark at a respectable amount of frame rate. And then just porting that completely over so where everybody had to run Unreal Engine 5, I don't think a lot of people would be able to do it. I mean, yeah, you would have to upgrade your system or you just stop playing Ark. And this way here, they're actually having the Ark Survival Evolved is its own game, and then Ark Survival Ascended is another game, so where you can play either one you want. So if you have, technology that can run, a system that can run the Unreal Engine 5 game, then yeah, that's good. But if you want to stick with Ark Survival Evolved, you have that option, and I like that. All right, this also impacted our decision to sunset the ASE official network offline on August 31st, shortly before ASA launches. Okay, now, I thought ASA was launching on August 31st, or on or before August 31st. Okay, but now they're coming up with just a deadline. Okay. All right, despite ASE official representing the minority of players on Ark, it's an invested and passionate group with attachments to their bases, tames, and characters, and seeing that go away can't be easy. I can fully understand this. I mean, granted, people who do play on officials, at one point in time, they were the majority. Over the course of the years, offline play or, people hosting their own servers has become the majority of players. So yeah, there are still a lot of people on the officials, but not nearly as much as there used to be. And I can understand. Our reasoning behind the decision is that those servers are essentially based on old technology and require significant development resources and time for our team to operate and maintain. In some cases, the issues aren't as easily solvable without an overall upgrade. Additionally, we know that those resources could be better utilized on fundamentally new technology to further enhance the overall game experience for all players. And yeah, with this right here, they're being upfront and they're telling everybody exactly what it is, exactly why they're going. They're being very transparent, and I do appreciate them putting it just like this. But it's also, that's another thing that a lot of people kind of skimmed over in the original announcement, is they've already they've already said that they're going to allow people to have the saves from those servers. So if they want to continue to host them on a server provider, I mean, understandably, it means that there's an expenditure involved with that, but the save is not gone. You will be able to have access to it. You just have to either host it, or you can just transfer it into your single player game and play it that way, which is by yourself. And as we get closer to this, I will probably do a couple videos explaining exactly how to take that save file they will be giving you and then putting it into either a server or into a single player game, and what you have to do to that save to be able to access your character, because it's not as simple as, well, especially when it's going to single player, it's not as simple as just grabbing the save and just putting it over here and then just being like, okay, cool, we're good. It's not that simple. With the regular server, it can be that simple, but with single player, it's not. So I'll be doing a video on how to set that up if everybody is interested. All right, ASA will still be available to play for those who choose to. So Ark Survival Evolved will still be available. It's just the official servers will be gone. This includes multiplayer through unofficial player-hosted sessions, the endless amounts of mods on the Steam Workshop, and all the game content as you currently know it. All of that is going to remain, but after 8 years of development, we have to make this difficult decision of sunsetting Ark Survival Evolved in the official network in order to provide that truly long-term and evergreen version of the game through Ark Survival Ascended. Now, it's an interesting choice. So evergreen. All right. Okay. All right. I can get behind the wording. It's a little odd, but yeah, I can understand. It's going to be a fresh and long-lasting one going off in. So yeah, if them moving into Ark 2 and then still having a current gen version of Ark that they can continue to support into Ark 2 after Ark 2 releases, I can fully understand their desire to want to do that, because they're going to be working with the same thing. They're not going to have, an old team just over there working in the closet building up dust and be like, yeah, we're still coding for Ark Survival Evolved as we go. And then the other guys are out, just being like, yeah, it sucks to be you. I can understand that. Right, so we'll be sending off ASE with one final content update for our 8th anniversary this June, releasing the fan-elected creature Rhinoagnatha. All right, keep an eye on our next week for its dossier. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing the dossier, because really that looks pretty dang cool. All right, so we plan to support Ark Survival Ascended with new features, including at launch content drops, creatures, items, structures, and DLC. Our roadmap covered some of those planned changes, and we said that there would be more, and here's another preview. See, this is the stuff I love about the idea of them going with Unreal Engine 5 means that they can add new stuff to it as they're going, and yeah, it's just I'm really looking forward to the Ark Survival Ascended Unreal Engine 5 update, just because it's going to have the ability for them to add so much cool stuff to it. All right, dynamic navigation mesh and creature pathfinding overhaul, the AI pathfinding. I like that. All right, photo mode. See, as of right now, the only thing that you can do is NVIDIA Ansel. So yeah, so photo mode in there will be really, really cool, because NVIDIA Ansel sometimes sucks. After you get the hang of it, it's pretty good, and I use it a lot for some really in-depth, 4K, 8K screenshots, so where you can make just really cool in-depth thumbnails and do some cool stuff. But yeah, having an in-game photo mode will be cool. NVIDIA DLSS, that sounds really cool. I'm a little bit worried with the DLSS, because then again, it will be on newer code, and the current Ark Survival Evolved, face it, it's hard, really hard to get a high FPS, even with my beastly system. And if they're able to, on the new Unreal Engine 5, get it so where it's much better optimized on much better coding, then I will enjoy that. But honestly, when it comes to being able to run DLSS in Ark, I'm going to have to see that to believe it. I'm just saying. Because, as part of my job, it's to get the best possible frame rate and picture inside, the video as you're going. And in Ark, it is hard. I can push, a lot of FPS with this thing, and with Ark, it's just not as easy. All right, Dino baby management, quality of life. Okay. All right. I'm kind of liking that. Wild babies. This is kind of cool. Are they making it so where you can tame the wild babies? You don't kind of like passively? That would be cool. All right. Snap point improvements, new snaps, logic improvements. I would imagine more akin to like the S Plus. So, I mean, that would be kind of cool. All right, character creation and customization improvements. I'm looking forward to those. All right, because right now you can make some weird looking characters, and a lot of people really enjoy that. So if they can make it so where you can make some really in-depth characters and still some weird ones, because I know a lot of people really enjoy that. You know, get the two of them combined. That would be cool. Cross-platform multiplayer and full blueprint modding. If I know we mentioned this before, but we're serious. It's happening on PC and console at launches. And we've got it working internally with Overwolf technology. This dramatically changes the nature of the console experience. This I am looking forward to a lot because I host a bunch of servers and you have to have the PlayStation guys off by themselves, just in their own bit, and you have to have the PC guys by themselves. But being able to mix those, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And then also being able to get the Xbox people involved as well. That sounds really, really cool. All right, and this list is not exhaustive. We're hoping to get even more done, and the only reason we aren't covering all of these details right now is that we're still working on them. It's taking a significant amount of resources and time at the studio, and we don't want to commit to other particular features unless we're sure we can get them in for launch. And yeah, we may miss our deadline on certain aspects, but they'll come in over time as we continue to support this next generation of Ark. All right, that cracks me up. All right, and yeah, we may miss our deadline. Come on, everybody who's been playing a wildcard game for a while, we've got that. We're comfortable with it. Well, not exactly comfortable with it, but we've come to expect it. We get it eventually, and it's usually, pretty good. So yeah, at the end of the day, these are just words, and frankly, may not mean so much. That's okay. We understand that what will really convince you is seeing the screenshots and in-gameplay trailer, and you will in time. See, that's another thing I'm really looking forward to, being able to see everything. We know there are going to be more questions, and we'll be sharing more details over time. We're not quite ready to pull back the curtains just yet, so we hope you'll hang in there with us, survivors, and it'll be worth the wait. Studio Wildcard. See, I like that, and honestly, this post right here is written so much better than the last one. They're being absolutely transparent, and I fully respect that. It's pretty cool. Sorry, I was fighting a back sneeze there for a while, and then the sneeze is like, yeah, I'm coming out whether you want to or not. All right, so, yeah, that is the news. Honestly, I appreciate them being as transparent as possible. How I feel about Ark 2 being removed from it, honestly, I know a lot of people are going to be happy that they're just getting the game that they want. There's nothing being hidden or anything like that. Where they're not even planning on releasing any screenshots or video footage or anything from Ark 2. So why would people want to pay money for that? Granted, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm biased. I would have bought it anyway, but not everybody is going to feel that way. Matter of fact, most people aren't going to want to feel that way. So yeah, I can fully understand why them removing Ark 2 and then also lowering the overall price of everything would just be much more palatable and an easier pill to swallow when it comes around to it. So hey, what are your opinions on this new news? Are you looking forward to Ark Survival Ascended? How do you feel about Ark Survival Evolved? And also, if you want me to do that video about being able to transfer the save that wildcard gives you and putting it into your own single-player game, let me know down in the comments. I'm really going to be looking forward to reading the comments down there. Also, what are your thoughts on Ark 2? Do you plan on getting it? Are you going to keep an eye on it? I mean, granted, with the Dark Souls-like combat, that one right there, I think that's the one that's got most people kind of hesitant. But other than that, it does look pretty good. All right, so hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, make sure you click that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're new around here, subscribe. And until next time, this is Phlinger Phoo, and take it easy, everybody.